Emma Scarr, I notice you're packing your bag, and that can only mean one thing. We're going on another trip.
Yes.
Where are we going?
Well, you've said we're going to the Barbican to see an exhibition about two-tone records.
Yeah, two-tone records and Scarr, I think it is. And do you realise that two-tone records started in Coventry, that whole movement?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, and at the time I lived 7 miles away from Coventry, and yet that whole thing just really passed me by. It meant nothing to me. I was into different stuff. But it doesn't mean to say I'm not going to be interested to see what's on at the exhibition.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Scarr, Emma, you must have only been about 7 years old, so have you got even any memories of it at all?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I was really into, if this counts as Scarr, Madness in particular, the specials, and I remember like Buster Blood Vessel and that on Top of the Pops. For me it was the 80s, so maybe is that still called Scarr?
Well, it was the early 80s. Madness did actually release one record on two-tone.
Did they?
Yeah, but like all good bands, they evolved into something else, so I think only their first album, maybe the second one as well, was Scarrish. But how do you feel having a whole genre of music named after you, Emma Scarr?
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good. This is one of my oldest records, Complete Madness. Excellent cover, I think. I used to love, when I was a kid, I think it was him. No, it was him. I thought he was really handsome.
Yeah.
But he never did very silly faces because maybe he was more self-conscious. But now, I love Suggs.
That's not Suggs.
Yeah, this one. Sorry, yeah, they look a bit similar. But even now, I think he's a lovely fella.
Have a look at the tracks on there, because Madness only had one number one.
I can't see where the tracks are. Oh, here they are. It's so small.
So,
right, Embarrassment. You're an embarrassment.
That's
I
my
often
song,
sing that
that
to
is.
you, don't I? Shut Up, My Girl. Am I to guess which was the number one?
yeah.
Baggy Trousers.
No.
All right, don't tell me. My Girl?
No.
They didn't write that, I don't think. But oh no, they probably did. It's another one they didn't write. House of Fun.
Correct.
That's one I didn't really like.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say my favourite one on this. Oh, I loved Grey Day, which is a really miserable one. It's the only one that's like not much fun. It's really quite depressing, but I loved that, which is a sign of things to come with my music, probably. Oh, and It Must Be Love. That's the one they didn't write.
Labby
But I think
Suffery.
they did a lovely version of it, and it still makes me.
That was a hit twice.
But it moves me. So, Johnny, what does two-tone mean to you? Why are you taking us to this exhibition?
Well, you know me, even if I didn't like something at the time, I'm always interested. Like, I watch documentaries on bands and acts that I'm not really keen on, but I always watch it because I'm just interested in that sort of stuff. I do like the imagery of two-tone.
What do you like about the imagery?
All that black and white stuff, you know, and the checks.
Pork pie hats.
Pork pie hats. I think that's why Buster Blood Vessel, you mentioned him earlier, was so fat. He had too many pork pie hats. And did you know I did a gig with Buster Blood Vessel?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't listen very well.
No, well I did. He was a nice lad, very jovial. Funnily enough, when I did the gig, I was a skinny, long-haired, snake-hipped sex god. Now I could be a Blood Vessel tribute act.
And what band was he in?
Bad Manners.
Oh yeah, Bad Manners.
Also,
and he always stuck his tongue out, didn't he?
He did, he had a very long tongue. And maybe that's why he opened a hotel in Margate. Did you know that? It was called Fatty Towers.
Oh.
And it targeted big fat people. Rumour had it, you had to get weighed before you went in to make sure you qualified.
Is this a joke?
It's not a joke. And also, he used to serve up extra helpings of food and like steak kidney pie sandwiches, 48-ounce steaks. And there was also a pleasure room in there, which makes me want to feel a bit squirmish, especially when I think about that big tongue of his. I wonder what was going on in there. Talking about Madness, they had 16 top 10 hits, but only one in America. One top 10 hit. What do you think that was?
Can you give me a clue, but make it a real clue?
It's made of bricks.
Our House.
Our House, correct.
In the middle of our street.
You've got it. They were one of those quintessential English bands. Does anybody even know what quintessential means?
No.
Neither do I. But they were one of them, you know, like Roxy Music, Status Quo, Slade, who never really made it big in America. But they did over here. And I was thinking about that, because I appreciate that Madness were like a good band. They made good pop records. But why didn't I like them that much? And I think it was because they were called the Nutty Boys. That was their nickname. And I didn't like the videos much. They weren't a sexy band, were they?
No.
It was all this jerking around.
Yeah,
and
they were
stuff.
fun.
Fun?
Just fun.
Yeah, fun.
Bosh, that's what us Essex boys say when things are going our way. We shout bosh. Bosh, you can take the boy out of Essex, but you can't take the Essex out of the boy. Can't take the Essex out of the boy. From their pearly white teeth in Brentwood to Rayleigh's pink toothbrush in the disco. From the dog track down in Romford to the posh gas on Chigwell Road.
You see that programme? It's got Bad Manners on it. And the Body Snatchers. They were an all-girl band.
Yeah, I don't remember them.
Some of them turned into the Bell Stars. Can you remember them?
Yes.
I did a gig with them as well. At the Fulham Palace Ground.
Well done.
They had great hits like My Grandma's to Your Grandma, Let's Go to the Bingo.
Oh.
And 369, The Goose Drank the Wine.
Yeah, I remember
Not
that
great.
one. But you can play records here. Sadly, though, the record player's out of order.
What about these records, Emma? Did any of these make any sense to you?
Yeah, well, it's jogging my memory because, yeah, Elvis Costello. I Can't Stand Up for Falling Down. I mean, I had a whole tape of him that someone at school made me. Didn't consider it two-tone, but Too Much Too Young, that was always on the telly, and yeah, I liked that one. Prince by Madness. Message to You, Rudy, that's iconic. I love that song. Yes, maybe I know a bit more about Scarr than I thought, and of course, this place is coming like a ghost town. We can't be too loud in here because it's a library. This is a wall where the public can bring their own memories of Scarr. It's quite nice. When they were little rude boys and rude girls. I had that poster on my bedroom wall.
It's interesting to see that Terry Hall was involved in mental health things. I actually saw Terry Hall in Coventry, and he was in a punk band called The Squad, and they were terrible, and that put me off him. And he seemed to be quite a miserable bloke. And then I read, actually only just recently, that when he was a kid, about 12 years old, he was abducted by one of his teachers who took him to France. And obviously lots of nasty, unsavoury things went on with him, and then he just dumped him out of the car and left him at the side of the road. And he never quite got over that, poor lad.
Bosh, that's what us Essex boys say when things are going our way.
Well, what are you doing? You'll get us thrown out. You see these? When I first saw them, I thought, how can you get away with just blowing up a record and selling it as art, but it turns out these actually hand painted.
Oh, that's on fabric, that one.
Yeah, his name is Morgan Howell, but that's just a poster.
Madness loved doing that leaning kind of pose, didn't they?
It was very windy that day. So Emma, what did you think to the Scarr exhibition?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was small, it was compact. It brought back some memories, which is always nice. And I was just thinking about Scarr music. It probably permeated into lots of the music from the time. Like, I'd forgotten about the terms rude boy and rude girl. And a song in my head, it's Ian Dury, Dance Little Rude Girl Dance, something like that. One of my favourite Ian Dury songs. So I didn't really think of him as two-tone or Scarr, but he probably was. So I suppose Scarr, you know, it was a sort of pop mixed with reggae and some other stuff maybe. As all music is, yeah, punk. You know, a fusion of music, and yeah, I enjoyed having a little dance to it.
What do you think about this Barbican place?
Well, it's like some weird utopia. Like people sitting around all happy with fountains. I even saw a little gosling swimming along there. Yeah, interesting. So, what did you think, Johnny?
Well, I'll tell you something. I'm glad I didn't pay to get in to see that. But no, it was. I did enjoy it. I'd advise anybody to come along and see it because it made me realise that I did like more of the records than I thought I did. Actually, there's a big Scarr scene still going on today, and if I was you, I'd check out a band called Death of Guitar Pop. They're really good. Johnny Hick, the lead singer. Check them out. I was a bit disappointed I didn't see much of the Beat.
Oh,
remember them?
Yeah.
Mirror in the bathroom. Because we did a gig with the Beat at Coventry Locarno. It's one of those great old-fashioned ballrooms. And at the time I only lived 7 miles away on an estate called Camphill Estate, which was all coal mining youth. So they were always this far away from being drunk, this far away from being in a fight. So we thought, let's get as many as we can to go and play with this band, The Beat, because they were just coming onto the scene, and we'll show them what a real band's like. So we went on first, and it was one of these beautiful old boardrooms. I think it was the Coventry Locarno. It had these big curtains that actually went up. And so we thought, right, what we'll do, we'll start with one of our big fast numbers, create a scene, you know, create an impact, and our fans from Camphill, by this time we were all drunk and ready to kill, would go crazy. So we started the song, and the curtains slowly started to go up, and as they went up, the 3 microphones that we had at the front of the stage got caught, and they went up in the air. Totally killed it, and that's another fine example of the catastrophic life that I have led. So Emma, what have you got for lunch?
Well, I didn't make my sandwich today because I'm under doctor's orders to stay away from bread for a bit because I've had a bit of a dodgy tummy. So I'm experimenting with avoiding gluten. Gluten? Yeah. So I've got banana and a vegan sausage roll.
Vegan sausage roll?
I'm trying to find a vegan sausage roll. I've got no idea what it'd be like, but it's in there. I'm having the banana first because I know I like the banana. So what have you got today?
Well, because it was only just down the road, I thought I'd go healthy, and I've got myself a Fry's Turkish Delight, 75% off, 19p, Poundland special, and it's full of Eastern promise.
You're listening to the sound of the original Room Boy Never Staple, and that of Guitar Pop Ska Club, down in the Essex. With a full swing.
Is Rudy there, please? He's not. Oh, he is. He's not. Hey, mate, stop you messing around. We've got to get a message to Rudy. Right, can you tell him that we've just finished our documentary on the two-tone Scarr exhibition at the Barbican in London? And can you ask him to watch it, subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, like, and leave a comment. Okay? Pass that message on, yeah? Cheers.